Coogan Cassius here with Frank Warren at a press conference to announce Chris Eubank Jr.'s comeback fight against DMITRY CHUDINOV on the 28th of Feb. How are you, Frank?
I'm good, thank you. I had a nice break over the Christmas. I'm okay, thank you.
Well, today you're the only interview that I'm going to be getting here today because I had quite an interesting, as you know, an interesting conversation with Chris Eubank Sr. about why him or his son they both refused to be interviewed by me, IFL, whatever. He said he's heard excessive and unnecessary language within some of my interviews, and he gave me a lecture for around 5 minutes about why it's unprofessional to do that. So my argument back to him, Frank, was that my style of doing interviews is sometimes unorthodox, but it's worked very well for us over the last 4 years. And if it's good enough as most of the top boxers in America and the majority of the top boxers in England, then it's apparently not good enough for them.
Well, you know, it's all disappointing. I mean, obviously, I want him to do as many interviews as he can to help promote the show, and that's how it should be. You know, let's get it right. I mean, I'm not a prude or anything, and I suppose nobody wants to hear bad language. We all know all that, but you know, people say things happen, and we regret it. I mean, Tyson Fury. Was it last year, had a bit of a press conference where we was all like, you know, putting ice buckets on our ears. But the bottom line is, you know, he should be doing the interview. He should be doing the interviews with you. He should be doing them with everybody. And you know, I don't think it should be, you know, about barring people from, you know, on the strength of that. It just doesn't make sense to me. But you know, the old man's a law unto himself.
Listen, I respect his decision and for us not to interview him, but I've got some reasons now why, you know, we don't, because a lot of people have wondered especially over the Saunders-Eubank fight, we didn't interview Chris Eubank.
I didn't realise that, but you know, that's it, and you're letting your people know about it. But I suppose if that's how life's going to be, then you know, we might as well stop watching Graham Norton's show. We might as well stop watching the Jonathan Ross show. We might as well stop watching any film you go to. You know. It's not like, you know, I think we are adults and we, you know, it is what it is. If he doesn't approve of bad language, I absolutely understand that, but we are all over 21.
The final thing I will say, ironically, after that conversation, within the press conference, his son, in a press conference, used the term bastard. Now, and if Chris Senior, you're watching this, I apologise for the use of the word bastard, but Chris Jr. used that word. I then went up to him in front of you and asked him, do you consider the word bastard a swear word? He said yes, which is a kind of a contradiction to the conversation that I had previously with him, Frank. So anyway, it is what it is.
It's a bastard.
Anyway, moving forward, Chris Eubank Jr. Going from one huge fight with Billy Joe Saunders straight into another one. So, in that respect, credit to him for taking this challenge against Chudinov.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, I worked hard over Christmas. When I rang Chris Senior, told him we could make this fight, and I said we should be taking it. It's a great opportunity, and he agreed, and we made the fight. I don't think, you know, now, you know, some people say give him an easy fight back. I don't think that works. I think, you know, he has to come back and make a statement. He made a statement actually in the last fight, and I want to get it absolutely right. I thought Billy Joe Saunders won that fight. I think Billy Joe boxed really well. I think young Christopher came out with a lot of credit. He showed he could do 12 rounds. He showed that he's a danger man. But I think that, you know, Billy Joe was, you know, gave a very, very masterful boxing exhibition. I don't mean an exhibition like the fight's an exhibition. I think he put, you know, the way he was boxing behind his jab and so forth. I think that, you know, he done tremendously well. And I'm sure down the road there'll be a rematch. But the fact is, Billy Joe Saunders won it. Chris Eubanks Jr. now's got an opportunity to get back in the mix, and he's taking it with both hands. He's got a tough fight. Chudinov is a tough guy, and it's going to be quite interesting. He's got a totally different style to Bill. He's not a guy who's going to come and work behind the jab and is going to be boxing him. He's going to stand and trade with him. So that's going to be quite an interesting bang-up. That's what I think it'll be.
Chris Eubank obviously has relevance to the fight which is to me made between Andy Lee and Billy Joe Saunders. Where are we at the moment with that, Frank, and how close are we to agreeing that fight?
Andy, Adam Booth and myself have been talking for the last few weeks. I've had a meet with Billy Joe Saunders. There isn't a big venue available for that fight, probably till sometime at the end of April, early May, because I think it's an outdoor event now. We've asked the WBO collectively and they've agreed to give us an extension till Monday to finalise what we're negotiating. So I hope we'll be in a position by the end of the week, but certainly by Monday, to announce something. Whatever happens, Bill will fight for the world title within the next 4 or 5 months.
And regardless of who the winner of that fight is, would you look to line that fighter up with a fight with Chris Eubank Jr.?
That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's the best fighting the best. That's what they want. That's what Chris Eubanks Jr. says he wants. That's what his dad says he wants. That's what we want. It's what the fans want. And we're not ducking the issue. That's what we're trying to make happen. That's where we are. That's what we're trying to do.
So obviously this is a co-feature on a huge night at the O2 on the 28th of February. Like I said, there's a lot of fights still to be announced as an opponent-wise, but we're looking at a good card here.
We've got 7 title fights on the card, and it will be a good card. I think the Tyson Fury and Christian Hammer is a good heavyweight bout. Hammer comes to fight, he can bang. I think Tyson, you've got to take your hat off to him for taking a risky fight like that when he's on the verge of, he is the mandatory challenger and the verge of fighting for a world title. So he stepped up to the plate. So for the fans, again, this is great. This is great. This is what it's all about.